Hello everyone, I'm Ronn Grant coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. You're watching 284 Media. Thank you so much for your time. Journey to Elections 2023. You're watching Just for the Record, and today I am joined by the 2nd District candidate, Miss Marietta Flax Headley, under the Virgin Islands Party banner. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more Just for the Record right after this.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got here. My name is Kamal Haynes. Most of you know me from 284 News, but now you get to see me in a different light on my very own show called Health is Wealth. We have Joel Turnbull.
I don't want you to arch your back when you're pulling down.
Milton McLean.
First of all, right, your footwork.
Stephen Payne.
That was a 9 out of 10. I know you got the service down pat.
Steve Augustine.
You did a pretty hard workout today, so perhaps...
And as you can see, it's actually
you're
impacting
feeling
me.
it.
Lonzo Boynes.
Taekwondo.
Adam Murrows.
I'll speak as if you're an absolute beginner.
I am an absolute.
You are an absolute beginner.
And Seth Graham.
It bites.
It will
Get your water, get your fruits and veggies, and experience a wealth of knowledge about getting healthy.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Welcome back everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. As promised, I'm today joined by 2nd District candidate under the Virgin Islands Party umbrella, Miss Marietta Flax Headley. Miss Headley, welcome to our platform and thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me, Ron. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. You were one of the last candidates, one of the very few who to be ratified and then announced. Your candidacy, to say the least, came as a surprise to many persons. What was your defining factor in deciding to put yourself up for elected office?
Well, let's say, Ron, I always had that drive, that wanting to serve. I've always been, that's my field, service. And politics on a whole, I've been around it for quite some time, in the background. And I've, with the party, been actually searching for a candidate for the party banner for District 2. So I've been always asked, well, Marietta, you're the perfect candidate. You ready? Mm-hmm. The deciding factor came on the night of Wednesday, the 15th of March. And after all the other candidates were ratified, District 2 was left candidate-less. And everyone looking around, Marietta, it's your time. I said no. I already gave my answer. My son said no, so it's still no. So I started to feel like, feel bad, like, you know, like people are depending on me. So there was a break in the meeting, and I think it was the Premier and Honorable De Castro and Honorable Reimer. Everybody, I have KJ number, I have his number, I have his number. And I said, y'all gonna call him? He said, yeah, we have to talk to KJ. So a text came and he said, Mom, it's okay. You go, that's what you want. I got your back.
Okay.
So it happened just like that. It's not that I haven't been considering it all the time. It's just that I needed him to give me his blessings. And when he did, it was a go, green light.
Understood. Now for the persons who may not be familiar with you, who is Marietta Flax Headley?
Well, I've been what you call a civil servant for the past, 34 years. I've been there. I joined the service in 1986 as an educator.
Okay.
After being there for 34 years, I retired. After serving 17 years as a teacher and 17 years as a principal. 7 years at Leonora Delville Primary and 10 years at Altius Catcliffe as a principal. Before that, I was a teacher at Altius Catcliffe before I elevated to assistant principal, then principal. Marietta is what you call I'd say a hard worker, one who believes in always doing her best, a person who always tried to help people to be their best. And I just love people. I just love to see them excel. I always feel that excellence, you should always try to show that excellence in whatever you do, and I go for it. Hard worker, a dependable person. You can always count on. Once I'm in your corner, you don't have to worry. You can always depend on me. That's Marietta in a nutshell.
Okay. Now, a lot has transpired over the last few years. Of course, the Commission of Inquiry. We were struggling with the pandemic, the arrest of our former premier. What would you like to see after all that we've been through? Let's take a focus at District 2. What exactly would you like to see if elected for District 2?
For District 2, when I look at the overall district, which includes Just Van Dyke, I can't forget Just Van Dyke, I would like to see a district that, as you enter it, whether you're a tourist or a resident, you feel proud. The overall feeling when you get to the district, it needs to be changed when you walk in there, what you see. Your eyes, what you see, it gives you that first impression. And for me right now, what I see in the district does not give you a good impression. It does not give you something to shout about, to be proud about. And that is my thing about joining the district race. Because the call has been come, why not come at large, since I've been taught so many students, met so many parents. But I think that doing it the district way, focusing on that area, I believe that the territory on a whole can gain from that. As you know, District 2 is what you call the tourism mecca. On Tortola, Just Van Dyke, the whole island. So why not focus on enhancing that where it not only benefits the district but benefits the country on a whole?
Understood. I have to ask you, as it pertains to your thoughts on the Commission of Inquiry. Do you believe, or do you view the findings of the COI as a fair representation of what has transpired in the territory across, let's say, the past few decades or so?
I'm not sure if I can say fair. My understanding of it is it didn't go back. It only did it's like a snapshot.
A certain time frame, yes.
Yes, that was a short time frame. I think it could have gone back a little further. But however, whatever time frame that it captured, I felt that it was necessary, yes, painful, yes, because it brought a lot of things to the forefront that we, the normal person, wouldn't have known. And I think, for all intents and purposes, I think maybe we became a little too relaxed. And you have to have checks and balances. The COI was bad for us in a way because we actually felt that we needed to do it. But it came because of findings or persons not being as transparent as they ought to be, and good governance was becoming not to be the norm. So it made us take a look at ourselves, yes. And I'm not looking at it as in a bad way. I'm looking at it as it helping us to be better at what we do.
Understood.
As a country.
There are a lot of persons who feel, I'm sure you've heard it, their view on politicians. Many persons think that they're greedy, selfish, liars, thieves, all sorts of stuff, all sorts of negative adjectives. What would separate you from these types of adjectives if elected?
First of all, I can only be me. Which sometimes is not a good thing. Maybe I'm too straightforward. a straight shooter. And sometimes I think I say things without thinking directly as to how it would affect. I just make sure that it's said, it's done. And so I have to work on that.
Okay.
I'm not a perfect person. The greedy part and I think politics, yes, that's the connotation that a lot of people have about politics. But you can only be who you are. Maybe maybe that's what you are all the time, and politics brings it out of you.
Okay.
You know, but for myself, if I'm successful, I intend to remain true to who I am, which is a straight shooter. Most persons who don't know me, I think they have a false sense of who I am. They think,
What are some of the misconceptions that you come across when persons think of Marietta Flax Headley?
I'm too serious. I don't never smile. The last thing I heard the other day, I'm not a people's person. I'm like, me? So I'm trying to figure out why that perception was from that person, and I couldn't think. I say maybe that's what I get. People receive from me because they don't know me.
Okay.
So maybe I have to set it up, give person an opportunity to get to know me. And I think that will cause them to have a different perspective of who I am. One of the things that my son told me when he gave me his blessings was, you have to be careful what you're putting on Facebook now. Well, probably won't have time for Facebook as much now, but I normally I'll see things, and
You're extremely vocal on Facebook.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So he said, Mommy, there are things you can't just be just saying things. You have to and commenting. Just let it go. You don't have to be the person, because then you attract persons to you. Some in a good way, some in a bad way. Depends on how they feel about the situation at the time.
Understood.
So since I've been on the campaign trail, so to speak, I have reduced my time because I have no choice. I don't have that time, that freedom anymore, except just to give greetings, use it as my way to advertise and inform people. Other than that, I barely have time to comment. I made a birthday, and I'm still trying to answer everybody.
Understood.
Yeah,
Understood.
but yes,
Okay.
the people just need to get to know me. I intend to create the forum where they will get to know me once I'm in there, because you need to know Miss Headley.
Understood.
Yes.
I have to ask you, is there a piece of legislation over the past, let's just take 4 years, with the most recent administration? Has there been a piece of legislation that was passed or brought forward that you don't agree with? Stay tuned for more Just for the Record right after this.
Angie, how can I get my claims paid quick? Rent's due next week.
CG processes 99% of claims within 5 days. Remember when I was hang gliding with those goats? I caught a gust of wind and flew right into a moving car. Every appendage was in the cast, and they paid fast and fairly. That's what I get for trusting a man with a mustache and an eye patch. Now I gotta go. I'm meeting the guy who bedazzled my toes.
99% of claims are processed within 5 days. CG Insurance. Good like that.
Rashford made it. Manchester United have come from behind to lead.
At home or on the go, watch CCT Live. Download our app and carry your favorite TV shows, news, or live sports anywhere you go. Visit cctvvi.com/live, select your package, and tune in.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Is there a piece of legislation over the past, let's just take 4 years, with the most recent administration? Has there been a piece of legislation that was passed or brought forward that you don't agree with?
I'll just say this one just for now, because it's there. That's the greedy bill.
That's what it's nicknamed.
That's what it's been named. I think it needs to be looked at. There needs to be a pension plan of sort for for the politicians, yes. For that's as it's for because they are civil servants, just like I was, and there needs to be a plan for them as well. However, I think that needs to be looked at again, in terms of it should equate to your years of service. That is I have a problem with you serving for 8 years, 4 years, and when I see it didn't make sense at the beginning. But when the premier put figures to it, I'm like, how could that be possible? Because I look at my 34 years that I did, and that is not even 1/16th of what I would have gotten. So small.
Okay.
I think I am not in favor of it. I think it is something that the government needs to look at, revisit, and put a little more meat on it. Look at it in terms of years of service, whether it be ministerial, whether it be premier, whether it be backbencher. It needs to be looked at. I think that needs to be revisited. They should get something. Hear me out. They should, and of course, it would be a little higher than a normal person, because accessibility, the life that you live as a politician, as an elected representative, your life is no longer your own anymore. So you should get remuneration according to that. It will be higher than a normal person, yes. I think the BVI is the only place where politicians don't get there just do, because I lived in Jamaica for a while and stuff. And I mean, politicians, they are treated like kings and queens in their country. The BVI is just the BVI.
Okay.
All
right. What is your thought on bullying in schools?
It has no place in the school whatsoever. I am what they called me when I was in the system, disciplinarian, so to speak. I believe a lot of it stems from the home. The children come to the school with a lot of issues, and their way of being accepted, or they lash out. It might be that they need to feel big, and they tend to bully other children to be recognized, to be noticed. But there is an underlying reason why they do it. So we need to get to the crux of the matter. It's not just bullying, but why is it happening? We need to get to the root of the matter, the cause, and try to deal with the children, the parents, to help them to get past whatever they're going through, to cause the reaction from the students in that way.
Okay. All right. As it pertains to education, the state of education in the territory at this moment, as a retired educator of 34 years, are you pleased with where we are on the educational front at this moment?
I see changes. After being out for 3 years, I'll put in a plug for Honorable De Castro. My reason saying this is because I see a plan. I haven't seen a written plan, but I can see where she's going. One of the things I noticed with education is that a lot of times the teachers, the persons who are on the ground are left out. They are just thrown things and are expected to execute, so to speak. And I see where Honorable De Castro is. I guess she understands being a teacher herself, being there. It seems to me that they are probably be more involved in the decision-making process. I think work needs to be done a bit more curriculum-wise, and our offerings to the students. We need to look more. We did a little bit of the technical part of it, but I think at times we forget and we tend into the academics starting to creep back in again, where I'm not sure how technical the technical school is in terms of that. But in talking to Albo de Castro, it seems that all those things have been looked at, and a plan is being put in place as to evaluate, to recreate, as she puts it, to reimagine how we do things. So I see hope. When I left in 2020, everyone told me I had to have had hindsight, because it seemed like things were getting very, very difficult for teachers. I don't know what is going on now. It seems like there's a big exodus out of education. But one of the things I say is a plus, and I don't mean it in a bad way, so understand what I'm saying. I see a lot of heads, principals, exiting. And it's not a bad thing. I think as a leader, you have to know when your time is up, when you have given your all, and there's nothing more for you to give. A lot of them, I think about 4 or 5 are stepping out this coming end of school year, giving other persons the opportunity to probably lead, go on, make things better, new ideas, fresh ideas. That's what I look at. So it's not a bad thing that, people are, lots of people leaving at one time. But when you look at the years that they have given, some of them, I left at 34 years. There are some who are leaving now who are there for 44 years. You become stagnant. We have young, vibrant persons in the system. And if they're just there teaching, and, their aspirations are to get things moving higher, they're moving out of the way, makes room for those young persons who can bring more to education to move it further along. So it's a good thing.
All right. I have some very short questions for you, and you can elaborate on them, or you can say yes or no. Simply, the people would like to know, if you are elected, whether or not you would support these legislations. So let's start with the legalization or decriminalization of marijuana.
Yes.
Okay. The legalization of abortion.
Yes. I think a woman should have a choice in what happens to her and her body. My Christian principles will come into play with that, in that taking a life. But I think if given the choice, then you would know your principles, what you're being guided by. It should not be forced on anyone per se. That is your choice, and the principles by which you guide, your guided principles by which you live by. So I think yes.
Okay. The legalization of parimutuel betting.
If it is properly, I said yes. I would say yes. If it is properly organized, laws put in place, I believe, I travel a lot, and the gambling, the machines and stuff like that, entertainment purposes, it adds to our product, one. And I think everything has to be monitored and the proper legislation put in place for things like gambling to happen. So I agree, it's a yes for me.
Okay. The legalization of same-sex marriage, or as some would refer to it, same-sex unions.
I'll say this, Ron, it is the same thing. I'll say yes. I'll say no. That one is a very difficult question for me. In that, again, it goes back to my Christian upbringing. It's a choice. I don't think you should force. I'm not sure how the legislation is stated. For example, as a minister of the cloth, a church, you will have the opportunity as the pastor to, I think, not agree to marry a couple. I don't know if you can do that. Persons have a right to choose their lifestyle once it doesn't interfere with anyone else's. It's not breaking any law. The country on a whole, I'm not sure if we are ready for that, in that we say we, in our upbringing, a Christian society, even though we have, to me, we tend to be a Christian society conveniently. You know, it's not something that we live daily. That's a tough question for me. I try my best not to cast my beliefs on anyone, because I believe that all of us have to give an account for ourselves. What I believe is, as a country, I don't think that we are ready for it in terms of accepting. We stay in our little corners and we shh, and we don't vocalize. And being that we are a Christian society, that's a little cliche now, because as I said, we tend to be a Christian society at our convenience. Other things, it's okay. It's okay to go out and drink and get drunk and disorderly. But we are a Christian society, Yet, here we are, same-sex marriage. It's the same thing, the same principle, Christian society. But we have a different concept. We tend to have a different principle. It's okay for some, it's not okay. What are we? We are confused. We can't be selective in being a Christian society. Either we are or we are not. And I feel that it's a choice that persons make, and they have to live with the choice. Now, if you're my friend or whoever you are, a human being, I accept whatever choice you make. That's your choice. That's not my choice. That's your choice. So that is how I will deal with it. Yes and no.
Okay. Thank you.
It's
Thank you for that.
Choice.
All right. In the final analysis, Ms. Flax Headley, the people of the Virgin Islands, and of course those in the 2nd District, on April 24th will go to the polls. I'd like to give you an opportunity to speak directly to the voters. Why should the people of the 2nd District elect you to the next House of Assembly? Stay tuned for more Just for the Record right after this.
Andy, turns out I'm allergic to the Australian veggie spread.
Ooh, thankfully CG will cover you anywhere in the world. Remember when I went to Australia for my title fight? Trust me when I say you do not want to get in the ring with a kangaroo. It wasn't until my victory dinner with the Sultan that I realized top shelf caviar doesn't agree with me. But I was covered. Anyway, I gotta go. I'm teaching your cousin how to use a flamethrower. Woohoo!
Medical cover anywhere in the world. CG Insurance. Good like that.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What do you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What do you really? Hey, this ain't like you,
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, I huff. I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon. Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us.
Electing me to the 5th House of Assembly will be you having a say, a voice in the direction you would like District 2 to go. You will be giving me a seat at the table to sit down and represent you. Why should you vote for me? I think you should vote for me because after looking around your district for the past years, you will notice that it's time for us to get better. And not because it's Miss Headley. I mean, I can offer you better, yes, but you, for yourself, will have to decide, can we do better than what we have so far? Or is it okay? We are comfortable, there's no need. I've had good representation for the past 8 years, the past 4 years. Things have been going well. When by all means, you don't need to get anybody because you are getting exactly what you asked for. Miss Headley is offering herself to you, District 2, to make things better. As I said in my campaign launch last evening, better for all the residents of District 2. Better for you, for your children, for your grandchildren to come, and by extension, better for the entire Virgin Islands. I think that uplifting District 2 goes a long, long way in uplifting the territory on a whole.
All right, now I have some very lighter questions for you. All right, we're going to run through them really quickly. Okay. What is your favorite Virgin Islands cuisine?
One?
Yes. I'll give you two. But
okay. Pea soup.
Okay. Milk and sugar?
Milk and sugar. It must have milk and sugar and pigtail.
Okay. All right.
Fish in mayo sauce, fungi and okra.
Got you. Do you have a favorite Virgin Island rum or drink? It doesn't have to be alcoholic. It could be alcoholic or not.
If you call it a Virgin Islands, my favorite drink would be Tamon and Golden Apple.
Okay, good choices.
With the alcoholic part, I like, it's not a Virgin Islands rum per se, but my favorite drink, if I'm coming out socially, you can offer me Marieta Sour.
Okay, all right. If you could take someone from VI yesteryear, that simply means that they're no longer with us. If you could take one person to lunch or dinner, who would that person be and why?
Doesn't have to be someone prominent, right?
No.
No. The first person that came to my mind was my dad. My dad, actually, I'm just making 59. Mm-hmm. My dad didn't make it to 59. He left at 55.
Okay.
As I sit and think, especially when I was doing my introduction for the campaign, I sat and I said, Lord, Daddy, if you were only here, how proud you would be of me. So my dad, if I could take him to lunch one more time, that would be it for me.
Thank you for sharing. Do you have a favorite sister? I believe I know the answer to this, but do you have a favorite sister island?
Of course, Virgin Gorda is my home.
Mm-hmm.
My brother and I, we are both not on Virgin Gorda. He's in the US and I'm in Tortola. We call it paradise.
Okay.
Virgin Gorda is my favorite. I don't live there now, but when you go home, home is home. Home is home. Virgin Gorda, it's just a different feel than the BVI, than the other islands. It's just there's so much to do. There's so much to see. You know, the only thing I don't like about it is like things close down so early, like the supermarket and stuff like that. Close so early. So sometimes I go over there, let's run to the store. You see the time? We don't close. But other than that, home, Virgin Gorda, my favorite.
Your favorite sister island.
Miss
Headley, thank you for this conversation, and by extension, thank you for exercising your democratic right in seeking higher office.
Thank you so much for having me, Ron.
You're most welcome.
I appreciate it very much.
Viewers, that's all the time we have. We were joined by 2nd District candidate under the Virgin Islands Party banner, Miss Marietta Flax Headley, in the 2023 general election. Journey to elections. You've been watching Just for the Record. Bye-bye.